Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today we are going to learn something about circles. Circles, let's have some introduction first before we delve into this chapter. What is a circle? Normally we know, or as a layman's perspective, we came to know that a circle, any round figure is a circle. Whatever you see round, it is a circle. But that's not the case, because we have the figures like, for example, this figure. This is also a round figure, but it's not a circle. This figure in mathematics is called ellipse. So what is a circle? Let us have a definition of circle before this. Circle is the set of all points equidistant from a given point, given or fixed point. The set of all points equidistant from a given or fixed point. What does that mean? For example, I have a point. This is my given point, or you can say fixed point. The point is fixed or it's given. Now let us make the set of points which are equidistant from this given point. For example, I'll take one point at some distance from this fixed point. Let me name this point as P1. And let me name this fixed point as O. Take a point P1 anywhere in the plane. For example, I took it at some distance here, this P1. Take one more point P2. But remember that distance must be that point must be equidistant from this fixed point. What does that mean? I have to take one more point anywhere, but remember that distance must be equal to the previous distance. So if the previous distance was OP1, now the new distance is OP2. जितनी distance P1 की O तक थी, उतनी ही distance P2 से O तक होनी चाहिए. इसी को कहते हैं equidistant, same distance. एक और पॉइंट लीजिए. Let me take one more point, say P3. इसकी भी डिस्टेंस, ये भी इक्विडिस्टेंट होना चाहिए, इसकी भी डिस्टेंस सेम होनी चाहिए. जितनी OP1 थी, जितनी OP2 थी, उतनी ही OP3 होनी चाहिए. So, following the same pattern, let us have few points like this, 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 this. Here one more here, one more here. So equidistant, huh? One more here, one more here, one more here. Name it P4, P5, P6, P7, P8, P9, P10, P11, P12, P13. So we have these points. We can go infinitely for this set. For example, one more here, 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 here. But remember, the distance is same. You can go infinitely, like here one more point. यहाँ से एक और ले सकते हो, एक और छोटा सा एक और, लेकिन distance same होनी चाहिए. Now, if you join these points, when you join all these points like this. Now, by joining all the points, what you got? You got a circle. So the circle is the set of all points equidistant from a given or fixed point. इस पॉइंट से जितने भी पॉइंट आप डालोगे एक सेम डिस्टेंस पे, वो सारे जब ज्वाइन होंगे तो वो एक सर्कल बनाएंगे. तो ये हमारा सर्कल होता है. ठीक है? So this was a circle. The set of all points equidistant from a given or fixed point. Make a note. After that, when we established a circle now. Now we know what's a circle. Now circle divides the plane on which the circle is drawn into 3 parts. Divided into 2 parts, and the circle has 3 parts. Like this is called the circle itself. This is called the interior of circle. And this phase is called the exterior of the circle. Simple. Circle, interior of the circle, and exterior of the circle. Okay. After that, what we see, the fixed point, this fixed point, which we learnt in the definition, the fixed point or the given point, we call it as fixed point or the given point. This fixed point technically in mathematics is called the center of the circle, this point. This is called the center of the circle. Got it? The circle itself, the boundary of this boundary of the circle, which is formed by joining the set of infinite points, which we just learned. The set of all these points, the boundary, this boundary of a circle, this is called circumference of a circle. This is called circumference of a circle. If you write the definition, this is a circle. Number next, if we write the definition of center, the fixed point or the given point the fixed point or the given point in the formation of a circle. This is called the center of a circle. After that, the distance from this center to the circumference, or before that I'll write the definition of circumference. The boundary of the circle, the boundary made by the set of infinite points made by joining the set of infinite points. The boundary made by joining the set of infinite points, that's called the circumference of the circle. This is a circumference. Now, the distance from this center to the circumference, that distance, OP1, OP2, OP3, the distance from center to the circumference, this, all these distances, this is called the radius of the circle. This is called radius of the circle. The distance from center to the circumference of a circle. This is called the radius of a circle. After that, if we take any 2 points on the circumference, for example, let me take one arbitrary point here, anywhere one arbitrary point here. Now joining these 2 points, we get a line segment. On joining 2 random points or 2 arbitrary points on the circumference of the circle, we got a line segment, and that line segment is called the chord of a circle. That's called chord of a circle. So what's chord? The line segment joining the 2 arbitrary points. Arbitrary means any random points. 2 arbitrary points on the circumference. The line segment joining the 2 arbitrary points on the circumference of a circle. Circumference of a circle. That's called the chord of a circle. Next is, if that chord passes through a center, for example like this. Again it's a chord, 1 point here, 1 point here, but this chord this time passes through a center. This will become the longest chord of the circle. Because if you have chord like this chord, 1, 2 chord, 3 chord, 4 chord, you can have infinite chords like this. This is a chord, 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 this is a chord. Similarly, you have this, you have this. So you can have infinite number of chords in a circle. But the chords which passes through the center like this one, this one, this one, I'll show you here, this one, this one, this one, this one. Any chord like this which passes through the center, these are the longest chords. The longest possible chord in the circle is this chord which passes through the center, and that chord is called the diameter of a circle. That's the diameter of a circle. So we have one more definition, that is diameter. And what's diameter? The longest possible chord. Longest possible chord in a circle. The longest possible chord in a circle is called the diameter of the circle. And there is one more interesting point, that this diameter is the double of a radius, is twice radius, because you see this to this is a radius, and from this point to this point is also radius. So twice radius is a diameter. We can say diameter D is equal to twice R. If you double the radius, you'll get a diameter. Got it? Then one more thing is, this diameter, what it does, this diameter divides the circle into 2 symmetrical parts. Diameter divides the circle into 2 symmetrical parts. This one and this one. This part and this part, half of the circle. This is called semicircle. Semicircle. Or you can say it's called a hemicircle. Semicircle or hemicircle. Then, suppose this is a semicircle. This is called the diameter of semicircle. And this is called arc of a semicircle. cut a portion of the circumference of a circle. If you have a circumference like this, if you cut any portion, whether big or small, any portion, for example, you cut this portion from the circumference. So you got something like this. You will cut this portion, so you get this. You'll get this portion, so you'll get this. All these portions, these are called arcs. So these are arcs. So next definition I can write is semicircle. The half symmetrical portion of a circle. The half symmetrical portion of a circle is called the semicircle. You got it? Then we have arc. The definition for arc I can write like this. The portion of the circumference of a circle. That is called arc of a circle. Make a note. Then we have a, see, if I have a circle like this, now we know this is a radius, this is one more radius. Now the region between these radii, radius, radii is a plural of radius. Now this is one radius, this is another radius. The region between two radius, two radii and the corresponding arc. Now you know what's radius, you know what's arc. So the region, the area between radii and the corresponding arc, this is called sector, this region. So if I cut the portion like this is a sector. So we have one more definition, that is sector. The region, or you can say area, between two radii and the corresponding arc. The area between two radii and the corresponding arc. But we have two possibilities here. Number one is this, number two is this, radius, and the corresponding arc. The bigger one. This is also the sector, this is also a sector. Then what is the difference? This sector is called the minor sector. And this sector is called the major sector. Got it? Minor sector and major sector. We have one more thing. If I have a chord like this and corresponding arc, then I have this region. This is called the segment. This is called segment. The region or area between the region or area between a chord and a corresponding arc. Region between a chord and a corresponding arc. Chord and the corresponding arc. So we got something like this, or you will get like this, bigger one. Ye wala. Then what's the difference? This is called the minor segment. If you have a minor arc associated with the chord, that's a minor segment. If you have major arc associated with the chord, that is called the major segment. Major segment. You got it? Major and minor. The major segment. The segment in which major arc is associated with the chord. Then we have minor segment. Minor segment in which minor arc is associated. The segment in which minor arc is associated with the chord. That's it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.